I'm going to give you a sneak peek at using AI for electrical design in Revit. We're going to run one example. We're going to take a look at some mechanical equipment and get it connected to the electrical system. I'm going to ask Claude to take a look at the mechanical equipment and see what's going on with that in this project. Ask Claude. So it looked at that mechanical equipment for a little bit, dug into the model for us, found 47 pieces of equipment, and if we scroll down here to the end, we can see the exciting part, which is that it found 17 that were not connected. So we've got a bunch of mechanical equipment, a bunch of it's not actually connected in this model, and now it wants us to suggest what should we actually do with this. So let's have it actually solve this problem for us. So let's give it some instructions. Take a look at the distribution system. How are the panels arranged? Propose a plan for connecting the mechanical equipment to it. So we're going to ask it to take a look at the panels and come up with a plan for circuiting this mechanical equipment, and then we can figure out if that's a good plan and get it implemented. So we'll let it sit and think for a little bit and then come back. As the AI is working through this, it's going to ask me questions so we can take a look at what it's done here. It took a look at the panels in the project, figured out how they're arranged so we can see the arrangement here that it was able to figure out. We've got a service transformer, a switchboard, some MDPs, and then some panels and the equipment connected to that. So it was able to figure all that out, figured out where the heat pumps should be connected. Then it started to work on a plan for connecting them. And then it actually asked me a couple questions about what to do because it needs to have some feedback from the engineer about how to do this. So the first was, what should it do with the 15 heat pumps on EP 1A and 1B? It gave me a couple options. So let's choose to balance those. Then it wants to know what to do with the panels that it's connected to, because we've got a couple panels that are going to be undersized. We're going to go ahead and tell it to upsize those panels for us. Then it's going to keep working on the plan, and we'll let it continue to sit and think. All right, so it kept working. Let's see what it did because it's got a new question for me here. So here's the questions that it last asked us, and then it started working on the circuiting. It made some connections to some panels for us. It's doing all of this for us. It's getting our things connected. It's got 46 of 47 connected, and now it has a question where we've got everything connected, but we got one dangling, and we're actually out of space on EP2, and it wants to know, well, how are we going to solve this problem? So its suggestion is we could create a new panel, we could do an overflow, or we could leave it unconnected. Let's go ahead and create a new one and have it balance it for us. So we'll select that. Next question is that we've got some feeders that are overloaded. Should we bump them up to 300 amps? Let's upsize those and let it keep working. As it's working, we can kind of follow along with what it's doing here. So it's creating that new panel, and it's having to create it. We have an option to create it off in space, so it's going to go ahead and do that so it doesn't have to worry about where it belongs in the model. It's pulling another panel and using that for the connection. It's going to move stuff from one panel to the other. And of course, it's then discovering that it only has 12 slots, so it has to address that. So all the stuff that you have to do in your modeling, it's having to do, but it's taking care of it for us while you can go work on other tasks. And then once it's done, it's going to report back to us. So it says it's done. All the water source heat pumps are properly fed. It's telling us what it's done with all of our panels, how many heat pumps they have connected, the panel sizes. And then it does give us one thing that we need to finish manually. It says that it created that new panel, but it's off in space. So it's saying that as the engineer, I need to go back and actually figure out where that thing goes. So if we can go to our Revit model, we can take a look at what's happened here. So if I just go to the 3D view, so here's that new panel it created. So it is over in this room, so you probably want to move EP2B in here. It's obviously a small room, so there's not enough space. So this is the point at which you now need to have a conversation with the architect about getting more space for this panel. But we can take that panel here and figure out where it's going to go. Let's put it outside. Clearly that's not going to work. So now there's a conversation with the architect that needs to happen. This is where the AI right now can't do anything. At some point you can say, hey, go email my architect, but right now we're going to have to go talk to him. And then we can go to the one-line diagram, and let's figure out where that panel is here. So there's EP2. We do have a voltage drop issue on it. So let's just go ahead and finish this off. We've got that new panel that's been created. It's not on the single line yet. Let's go ahead and insert it for us here. We've got EP2B. Let's insert it here next to the other one. And now we've got the connection. They're both connected from this panel, but there's no bus here, so let's modify that. And then as a final step, redraw those two feeders. We do have a voltage drop issue, so we're not done with this design. But we were able to get a lot done using Claude and not having to do this ourselves. This did take 15 or 20 minutes of real time for the AI to do the work for us, which maybe you could have done it faster by yourself. It's actually a fair amount of work, so maybe not. But more importantly, you were able to go do other things while it was doing all of this work in your Revit model for you. So that's our first example of using AI to do electrical design in Revit. On the back end, this is an MCP server. If you want to look that up, want to do a little bit more research on what's happening here. It's currently in an early release version. We've got interested customers using it. If you are interested in using it, feel free to reach out to us at designmaster.biz and we can set you up with the early release. Otherwise, subscribe to the channel and we'll keep you updated as we get feedback from real engineers as they're using it on their projects.